Yo, what's up everyone? Colby Cheese here with another of the Heroes of the Storm gameplay video. This one is going to be talking about Falstad, as he is one of the ranged assassin characters in the game that is really interesting because you'll notice that a lot of the characters here, they run around on the horses whenever they have their mounts. Falstad has a different set of options. He's already got himself floating around on a griffin, so therefore this is one of the characters in the game that is extremely mobile and gets even more so as the game progresses. Just as you would expect from any other MOBA, your ranged assassins or ranged carriers or whatever you want to call them, they just grow in power tremendously as you get towards the late game. Now, right now, early on, you'll see I only have like 3 green bars of health. As you get later on in the game, every character will start to have like more and more smaller green bars. Pretty much means that you have more life at that point. I'm extremely squishy. Falstad is one of those characters that can dish out a truckload of damage. However, I can also get assassinated very easily. And boom, there we go. We're going to get a lot of damage off, but it's not going to be enough. They do have a Tyrael on their team, so he can shield up his allies, preventing quite a large amount of damage from being taken there. So, with my character here, there's a couple different options that I can do with the talents that I usually will choose to do. And let me go ahead and explain what those are. I like to modify my auto attacks so that I can attack large areas of enemies all at once. So, for example, whenever I auto attack things, currently I'm going to hit one minion, but later on I get some talents that allow my basic attacks to bounce. Well, there you go, there's the first one. So you can see now, every time I auto attack, my basic attack will hit like 2 enemies. Later on I'll get one that allows it to chain, and I'll hit up to I think like 4 enemies all at once. So I can just wave clear like a beast, and I'll be able to push lanes very effectively. Now you'll notice something I just did here. I don't have a mount, like I said, but my mobility option is to just fly in pretty much anywhere on the map. It has the range of, if you're familiar with League of Legends, Pantheon can jump halfway across the map. Same thing with Twisted Fate. This is a similar situation with Falstad, except it's not an actual ability, it's literally his mobility option. And it comes up quite often, so more often than not, you have the ability to just fly all over the map, and you can take objectives very quickly. You can use it to gank people. You come out from behind, and you do a very significant amount of damage. So let's go ahead and talk about the abilities that I'm using here. As you can see, we are actually doing pretty well so far. We've already gotten the first Dragon Knights, and we are taking down the enemy's forts and towers on their middle lane, which is going to be a great opportunity for us to kind of push up here. Taking forts is very important because you get a very drastic increase in the amount of gold that you, or sorry, experience that you receive. So if you really want to get ahead, get a lead on your team or on your enemies, go ahead and try to take those forts as fast as possible, and that's going to give you that lead. You'll notice our levels are quite a jump up from the enemy team. Now, I've got a ability here, the little Q. It's a hammer that I can throw out, and it will return back to me just as you saw there, and it does damage on both iterations. So going there and coming back, it hits twice. So if you land it correctly, you can dish out quite a bit of damage. Not only does it do damage, but it also slows enemies that it hits. And before too long, you also get an upgrade that allows you to push the ability button one more time as it's coming back, and it'll do an AoE splash like thing. I don't know. Basically, you can get it to do 3 hits, which is ridiculous. It's kind of slow and it's harder to hit on mobile enemies, but if you land that, man, they are in for a treat. It's not going to feel good. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. I did a good bit of damage to the Tassadar there, which, by the way, that is a badass skin. I love it. And I've just now unlocked my ultimate. So, the ultimate, you'll see that in just a second. And boom! Look at that! It's like a Lux laser. It goes really long range. You can snipe people for a very large amount of damage. It is insane, and it only gets better as you get into the late game. So, alright, now I've got see the little lightning deal there on my W key. By the way, I can't remember the name of all these skills, so I'm just trying to direct you to what I see here. So his W ability, it's a little passive lightning strike. As you go up to minions, I think every like 7 seconds or so, it will strike the enemies around you, or it'll just strike one at a time. And if you activate it, it'll do 4 quick strikes, just zap, 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 zap. And in fact, I think that's what it's called, is Zap. Now that I think about it, that's literally the name of the skill, Zap. Alright. Right now we are coming in with the Dragon Knight. You'll notice that I don't focus on enemy at all. I just go straight for the forts because that is the best way to handle taking over the dragon. If you want the dragon to be useful, you need him to push down turrets and towers and forts that you would not normally be able to on any other character. Now, I'm going to fly out here as best as possible. I'm trying to fly over the wall, but I just took way too much damage before I was able to get out of there. Falstad is actually usually really good at being the Dragon Knight just because, well, eventually, let's talk about his third ability. This is a good chance. So, he's got an ability called Barrel Roll. That's the little E ability, and it's a short range, it's basically a dash. And later on, I'll actually get a talent which not only does it allow me to barrel roll for a decent distance. There we go. I just flew in to take out these siege golems, or whatever they are, ogres. But anyways, not only does it allow you to barrel roll for a short distance, but it gives you a massive speed boost for like 2-3 seconds after you've done that barrel roll. So there's some really good mobility that you start to unlock with this character. You can push down lanes and AoE down minions extremely effectively, so you can go to lanes where no one else is at, and you can push it down, and then whenever you notice that the enemy has, you know, gone to take an objective, or you need to jump into the middle of a fight with your allies, then boom, you just fly in right behind and you are ready to go. So there we go. I tried to take them out. They were pushing in pretty aggressively onto our turret. I didn't have enough damage to finish them off just yet, and I used my ultimate to poke them down just a bit more. That is my way of saying, get out! Get out of here! So I went ahead and refreshed a little bit of my life on my well. We're going to take the dragon shrines as well. I'm going to look up top. It seems our Nova has that under control. So I'm going to fly into the middle lane here and wait for the dragon knights to spawn, or wait for the shrine to be captured, I should say. And I'm going to go ahead and push out Tyrael. If I don't push him out right now, then he's going to stop me from capturing the dragon knight. As you can see, he got a little bit worried. He's going to peace out, and I get the dragon knight. Oh yeah, it's dragon knight time, brother. So one thing I like to do, it didn't work that time, is I like to go on the opposite side of enemies and kick them towards my team with the Dragon Knight. The Dragon Knight has that little kick away ability, and a lot of people just like randomly click on enemies, but I found that the best thing to do, in all honesty, is if your team, which in this case it's not happening so I can't show you, but usually your team is going to actually be there and try and fight with you. And there we go, there's the flyaway. So that's how I quickly escape whenever I'm the Dragon Knight. In fact, I'm just going to come back in here and say like, no sir, you're not going to get away. But I guess he kind of did. Anyways, the point is you kick your enemies towards your team so that they can single them out. Just, I don't know, similar to the concept of doing a blitzcrank grab. Or in this case, there's, you know, whatever that big guy is with the hook. I don't remember the names. You can't get on to me too much. I'm not an expert yet in the game, so I don't know the names of everything just yet. But we'll get there, guys. Hopefully you are enjoying the commentary so far. So pretty much you have an idea of what Falstad is all about. He's all about that extremely high mobility and just taking people out very quickly with successful landing of their abilities. Now you haven't seen too many crazy gank action that I've done this game. Mostly this game I've just focused on picking up the Dragon Knight, shoving down lanes where possible, and you know, overall just doing my best to assist the team. This is a quicker game so far. You'll notice that we are pretty much just completely dominating at 4 levels above the enemies. So in other games that it lasts longer, I actually realized you can go up to max level of 25. The longest game I've ever had, in this game was 35 minutes. And I was like, man, this game lasted forever. But then I thought about it for a second. I was like, man, I used to play League of Legends, and games would last 30 minutes, and that was a short game. You know, 20 minutes was like ridiculous. Whereas in this game, 20 minutes is like, man, that was a longer game. So as you can see, we actually pushed in to the enemy's nexus, and we took that out. That is GG. Hopefully you got a sense of what Falstad is and how he handles. So look forward to you guys getting into the game later on once it's out of Tech Alpha, and I'll be doing more videos, of course. So see you around next time. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out, bros.